Would you love to be 24 again, in body at least, if not in mind? Watching your body age ain't much fun, but we all have to do it eventually. Or do we? A visiting American scientist reckons that actually we don't. Dr. Bill Andrews says ageing is a disease that should and could be cured. He says he's getting close to developing a drug that will stop the ageing process in its tracks. So is he really truly onto something here? Or is he just the latest in a long line of quacks and charlatans who have been claiming to have found the fountain of youth for thousands of years? Here's Sonia Wilson with Bill Andrews.
I positively believe that we are going to find something soon enough to allow my 84-year-old father to see his own aging reversed.
He's been called the man who would stop time. Age, says Dr. Bill Andrews, is a disease, one that can be cured and cured soon.
I wouldn't be surprised if I lived to be 500, okay? But that doesn't mean I expect to live to be 500.
I mean, that sounds crazy.
It's sounding less and less crazy. I mean, there's a lot of people who have been keeping up on the science that actually believe that this is actually a reality.
We age, he says, because our cells age. It's all about our telomeres.
All the havoc that gets wreaked begins when telomeres get critically short.
His theories are now getting traction on the silver screen. Here he is explaining the basics in the feature documentary The Immortalists.
A chromosome is like a long shoelace. At the very tips of our shoelaces are found the caps. Those are the telomeres. When the caps of the shoelaces get worn away to nothing, the shoelace starts falling apart. Well, same thing happens with the chromosomes. Telomeres shorten every time a cell divides. Telomerase is the enzyme that lengthens the telomere.
And he says if he can work out how to turn on the telomerase enzyme, that would lengthen our telomeres and, in theory, lengthen our lives.
So the really big question is, if we did that, is somebody like Betty White going to look 24 years old again?
Do you believe that's possible?
I believe it's possible, but I don't know.
Skeptical? Yes, I was.
You're right, it's all lots of science fiction movies, lots of quacks. There's been Dr. So-and-so's sitting on street corners since the days of Cleopatra trying to sell you something that cures everything.
So what makes you and your colleagues different?
The science. It's the fact that there's now science. Nobody in the history of the planet has ever done an experiment that has caused human cells in a petri dish to get younger. But we did that 20 years ago. We found that we put more telomerase in, the telomeres actually started getting longer. And the cells, by every method of measurement that you can imagine, got younger.
That's in vitro, though, isn't it? That's in a petri dish, which is a long way from the complications of a real live human body.
But if it didn't work in vitro, it wouldn't work in the human either. I believe that we are going to have a drug ready for testing by the end of 2016. I think we're that close.
OK, having the technology is one thing, but would we actually want to use it?
If you accept and acknowledge your mortality, then you can look for quality of life.
If you had a pill that stopped the ageing process or reversed it, then there would be huge problems.
I think if they could cure some of the illnesses to make your life better, I think that would be a great thing.
That's exactly what all of us are doing. The number one goal is to lengthen our health span, keep us healthier longer.
It's expensive research and money's been hard to come by since the global financial crisis. So of late, Dr. Bill's been involving himself in an arguably less scientific industry in order to fund his work.
We started collaborating with companies that market natural products and skin creams.
I look at your credentials, you know, a PhD in molecular and population genetics, 30 years in the biotech industry, and I think this guy is worth listening to. And then I hear that you're promoting beauty products and something rings an alarm bell and says, beware the snake oil salesman trying to sell me a face cream.
You know, you got to do what you got to do. Now, the only thing I'm proud of is the fact that I have never, ever allowed anybody to license a product from us that doesn't work. You had mentioned that I endorse these products, and actually I never do. I will educate the people on telomere biology But I'm not going to say that skin products work or the natural products work. I would just talk about the importance of keeping your telomeres long.
But by doing that, you are effectively endorsing them because you're giving them that sort of white coat credibility, aren't you?
I'm endorsing telomere biology. Okay, I want to maintain my reputation as a scientist, but what else do I do? That's the frustration. That's why I call it marching into hell for a heavenly cause.
And what a cause. Imagine, just imagine for a moment, a world that doesn't age.
I believe that I am going to create a mess out of this world, okay? I believe that there are going to be some problems that occur. Overpopulation is one of them, but I don't think that's the major one. The real big problem that I see is how are the young ever going to compete for jobs if the old never retire? If we discovered a cure for aging right now, in 100 years from now, we had all the problems that everybody is talking about, would we vote to ban that cure for aging? And I believe the answer is no.
Bill Andrews does have his supporters in the scientific community, but he also has his critics. All these claims about telomere length being a measurement of scientific ageing is exaggerated, premature, and outright pseudoscientific. Are they right or are you right?
I mean, there's a lot of people that say Einstein was an idiot, okay? There's people saying that all this stuff about relativity and stuff like that is a bunch of crap, but it's not, the people that are saying this are really not the people in that field.
You're convinced the science is good, clearly, that you're on the right pathway.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, when I become young again, I'm not going to waste it.
This 63-year-old ultra marathon runner is nothing if not determined. He'll cure ageing, he says, or die trying.
I recognize that there's a chance that we would do all this research and develop a pill that makes all the telomeres in our cells get longer, and we see absolutely no change in us, okay? But I don't want to be sitting on my deathbed 30 years from now saying, how come we never answered that question? How come we never tried to find out? Okay, and that's what I want to do. I want to be the person that finds out.